Private sector representatives, as well as those representing different unions in Belize, shared their thoughts on social and economic policy development during a national tripartite workshop that was held this morning at the Radisson Fort George Hotel and Marina in Belize City. The workshop was facilitated by the International Labor Organization as part of a series of national workshops under a 3-year project being funded by the European Union. The workshops was also a collaboration with the Caribbean Employers Confederation, which was represented by Director Raymond Eitel and the Caribbean Congress of Labor. David Mazaya, also forming a part of the workshop, was the president of the National Trade Union Congress of Belize, Marvin Mora, the president of the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Arturo Vasquez, and Labor Commissioner, Ivan Williams.
Primarily, I think what we have seen as one of the concerns really is the fact that the level of education and employment, when you employ, there's employees who are lacking, the skills are a bit lacking in several instances. And in particular, I made a point where I think it's more on the technical side. The IT vets, the vocational training, is also an area that needs to be improved, in our opinion as a chamber, because it is in that area that you find that you have to import a lot of the skills at times. The educational curricula, of course, is being reviewed, but while we can understand the educational policies that are in place, there's a lot of need for vocational and technical skills, and that's where we have made that's where I made my remark in making that something that the chamber is somewhat concerned and would like to see more improvements in that area.
We have identified several issues, amongst which occupational health and safety, the social security issues, and others are highlighted, and that's why we're here, to try and find out what CSME is doing, what Career Forum's plan is, so that it can be addressed, what mechanisms are there in place, if there are none, how we can contribute to establish some.
And what we really are promoting is social dialogue. This is the dialogue between the employers and the workers in terms of putting together our labor-related matters on the table, on the forefront. And we hope to do this through a number of pillars, such as through this program, which is part of the education program, moving around, bringing people up to date on the issues and the framework within which we operate. Because things have been happening in different countries over time. We heard here the Labor Commissioner talk about some of the structures they have in Belize and some of their other similar structures in other countries in the region.
Labor issues vary from country to country. It depends on the maturity at times of the various labor unions and the employers' federation in those areas to have issues resolved in a very amicable way. What we are doing through this project is to engender and to foster a new thing called, well, not new, but I mean the social dialogue mechanism, that is to ensure that all of us are basically on the same level playing field.
And as a consequence of that, the EU and the ILO partnered together and has successful now in the implementation of a project to do just that, to create an awareness among not only the Caribbean Employers Confederation and their affiliates. The ministers of the Caribbean, labor ministers, in March of this year recognized that there's a need to build capacity among the major stakeholders, that is the employers and workers, in respect of their obligations under the Career Forum EU Economic Partnership Agreement. And so they committed at the Labor Ministers meeting in March of this year to seek to build the capacities among the employers and the workers in understanding their roles and functions within the EPA.
Similar workshops have been held across the Caribbean.